Alright, so how's everybody doing today? Alright, so Tiffany, you've got some good energy. Everybody else seems a little tired now, but been a long week?
Yes.
Good. Well, not good, but we're almost to a 2-week break, so that's going to be nice.
Well, me and Carlos and everyone.
Nice. Where are you guys going?
The movies.
What movie are you going to see?
Spider-Man, the one that
The
came
new
out.
one?
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Who's all going on that trip?
Just a kid with fun.
Nice. That's a nice treat. You guys have been working hard. Alright, so today we got a couple things going on. First, we're going to do a warm-up, and it's not going to be the time multiplication like we've been doing. But this is going to be a warm-up based off of what we've been doing in this class, so working with percentages. So we'll start with the warm-up, we'll go over those answers, and then I kind of want to look at a visual representation of percentages. So you guys have, I kind of want to look at what percentages look like when you're looking at like pictures.
That's 75.
Alright, perfect. So some of you guys is going to be like a breeze through. I just wanted to cover it because I know visualizing things helps me. So I just wanted to go over that really quickly. And then we're going to do some practice with comparing items. So we've been looking at like how do you find, say, 15% off of television that costs $400, right? So what I want to do is then look at two different TV sets that are different prices and discounted different amounts and see which one is the better price. All right? Because that's, if you have sales, it's good to be able to take a look at which one's actually a good deal. Right? Yeah, exactly. How are you doing today?
23.
23
Under 100.
over 100, and I would do, what was that? Times?
100.
Perfect. 100 over 1.
Wait, so I kind of forgot it a little bit.
Okay, so can we help everybody out here?
Yes. Like, for this one, once you did all the stuff, do you like subtract it from the 100?
Alright, so let's do the first step first, right? So we're cross multiplying, right?
Yeah.
So when we have 23 times 100.
That's 2,300.
1,300.
But underneath 100.
And then 100 times 1,
100.
it's going to give us 100.
Then you take away 2 zeros.
Yep, then we're going to simplify.
23% off.
Which
$20.
represent $23, right?
Yeah.
So we have $23. And so everybody have that much. So that's our first step, right? So this $23 represents what? Is that the
off.
$23 off, right? So that's the discount. Excellent. So then,
Now for the
what is our final step? Can anybody come up with?
you subtract. Do you subtract?
Yes, absolutely. But what are we subtracting?
23 minus 100.
23 minus 100?
Yeah.
It's going to look like this, right? We're going to subtract the $23 from the 100.
77. Oh, you did it. Okay.
Oh yeah, so we got the first one down there.
So now we subtract 77 minus 23.
No, we've already done that. So
77 minus 23.
so this was this was the original price, right?
So the discount is 100.
So the discounted amount is the $23, right? Because that's $23 off. And so this is, even though it was 23%,
Okay, now it's
this is
confusing.
representing $23, right?
Oh, how much you will pay?
Yeah. I'm sorry, what's confusing?
I got since you don't know how we did it, that's how we did that. Like this.
Yeah.
How do you,
Okay, so if you have to cross out the zeros, but there are no zeros to cross out on the top, so you cross out 1 0, move the decimal place over 1. Cross off this next zero, the decimal point moves 1 more over.
so what is also
So what is that going to represent?
Oh, one of the two. I don't know if you
Yeah.
got one of the two.
Alright, how's it going over here, sir? Alright, so what's our next step here?
Tem mucho servicio de
Well, what is this gonna turn out to be? Alright, hold on, I got you. Hey, so when you have, because remember how we crossed out the zeros up here? Whenever we cross out a zero and there's not a zero to cross out on the top, you have to move the decimal place over. So the decimal place was right here, now it moves over, we cross out another one, moves over again. So what's that gonna equal?
Oh,
Yes.
I don't know if I got number 3 right.
Okay.
So 20 times 10%, it gives me 0.6 cents.
Okay. Yeah. So what does that represent?
6 cents.
Or if it's the 0.6,
That's it. $6.
60 cents, right? Well, we'll go over that in just a second. Alright,
That
so.
makes sense. I got it.
You gave me 6 cents.
The
That's
answer.
what I got.
What
Alright,
what
do you
was the
wanna
answer?
walk them through the steps and show them how you did it? Or no?
I got
It's okay if you don't.
6% and you got total. The new price was 14.
Hey, it's not a bad thing when you wanna help out. You know? So if you wanna show them the steps that you did on there to get number 3. Talk them through it. Let them know what you did. I don't have any problem with you guys helping each other out.
I get Stephanie, sorry.
What did I do?
Hey, this is why we're practicing.
Check all of them.
I messed up the whole numbers on top.
What number? Why'd you got? This, are you putting price or discount? I
So
got 6, but the same, but the new price, he has a different one.
alright, so it looks like we'll go over all these now. We'll figure out where
Wait,
we're
hold on.
making some mistakes.
Wait,
No cents.
you subtracted.
What was the price?
It's 14. The new price
They
is
gave me
14.
17.
It gave me 14.
It's 0 wrong.
No, I didn't. I did all the stuff right. 14. Wait, what did I go wrong?
Number 3 is 17.
Or negative. How'd you got a negative 17?
So I put 3 minus 20.
Put 3 minus 20.
Is it?
No, you don't.
Is it?
Alright, well we're gonna go over these in just a couple
Okay.
seconds here.
Was it $6? I thought it was 6 cents.
$6.
I think it's 60 cents, right? But we're gonna
That's
go
six.
over this.
$6.
Three 0 wrong. That answer 17.
Alright, so 3% as a fraction is gonna look like what?
0.6.
It's gonna-
6%.
What is 3%
3
as?
over 100. 60 cents. 3 over 100.
Come on guys, listen to what I'm asking for.
Oh,
Alright,
three-
thank you. Good work, Carlos. 3 over 100 is going to represent that percent. And then we are going to write $20 as 20 over 1. Now, what happens when we multiply 3 times
You
20?
get 60.
60.
People.
60 over
100.
100. Now, this is where we had a few problems, so we know we can cross off the zeros, right?
It's 6%.
We don't have another 0 to cross off this second 0, so what do we have to do?
Multiply. I mean,
Yep, we have the decimal that we have to move.
oh, that's what you said.
So, this is going to wind up being
0.6.
0.6 over 1, which is the same thing as 0.6.
But I thought it was 6 because you can cross the zeros. Like,
You can cross the zeros, but we don't have a second 0 to cross off here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it.
Anytime you don't have the zeros to cross off, you have to move a decimal point instead. So this is going to equal 0.6. And so this was another thing. If we're looking at 6 cents, it's going to look like this, right? 0.06.
Uh-oh, I got my answer wrong.
I got mine 60. 60 cents.
Yep, so I'm just going over the differences though. So 0.06 is going to be 6 cents. 0.6, and you can imagine the zero after is going to equal 60 cents. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So now the last step we have.
20 minus.
3.
$20 minus
3.
0.60, right?
I was on 0.
Alright, so let's think about it. If our discounted amount is 60 cents, right? Don't we want to take the original amount and subtract the discounted amount?
Yeah.
Alright, so when we do this, so we have to borrow from the 2.
Enrico, I was off.
That's
Yes,
gonna be
of course.
4. Here, and 9, 19. I got that. Yeah, I got it.
Alright guys, so did everybody get $19.40?
Ah,
No,
you
well,
got
I
one
did
too.
it.
Alright,
You
well,
got 17.
do we,
Closer.
let me rephrase the question. Can I get a thumbs up or thumbs down if everybody understands how we got to this answer? Yeah? No? Alright, you want me to go over it a little differently?
Yeah.
Alright, so what
No.
No, this is good. When do we at which stage are we am I losing you?
Well, the part that you put, you know how you said 0.06, and then you wrote it 0.60. How's that? You just flipped them over.
Okay, so I just wanted to show the difference between what 6 cents would look like and what 60 cents would look like.
Yeah, but what you wrote 60 though? If it was 6.
Because look, you know when you did it, and you got 60 out of it, and then
Yeah.
100. So when you got that 100, you cross out 1 0, then the other 100 made the decimal move, and that made it 60 cents.
Remember on the last one how we had 1,275 over 100?
Yeah.
Remember? So for number 2, we had 1,275 over 100.
75.
Yeah.
Remember how we didn't have any zeros to cross out here?
Yeah.
So when we crossed out this 0, we put a decimal point here.
Uh-huh.
And then when we crossed out this second 0, we moved that decimal point to right here.
Yeah. It's the same thing for 0.
It's the same thing. So when we had 60 over 100 and we had to simplify it, we could cross out this first 0 without moving any decimal points. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then when we had to cross out the second 0 and we didn't have another 0 to cross out on the top, we had to take this decimal point and move it to right here. Okay?
No.
No, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Alright, because we're going to have some that are like this.
Number
Alright.
4.
What are we going to do when we hit
When
the...
you hit that 0, you put
Shaw
the
is like.
Mr. How can I put it? That's the one.
Where?
Can I do it?
Yeah, come on up.
I did it the same thing for everybody.
Show me the way. Perfect, yeah. So what is this going to represent, guys?
$15.04.
So we have 14.4 over 1, which is the same thing as 14.4. Now, can I have
Mine.
can I have you guys raise your hands? How many of you think this is $14.40? How many of you think this is $14.04?
Wait, what?
Alright, so
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
it's a little different. Alright? So if we have,
I'm wrong.
remember, if we're looking at this, $14 and if you have $14 and hey, this is alright. I've made this mistake plenty of times. So let's take a look at this. If we're talking money and we're looking at this here, 14.4 is the same thing as 14.40. Alright guys? Hey, I need you guys looking up here. This is what So 14.4 is the same thing as saying 14.40, which would represent $14.40. If it was $14.04, there would be this first zero in front of the decimal place. Alright? So guys, give me a thumbs up if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Alright, excellent. Because I'm going to give you guys some more examples like that to test and make sure that we're picking up on that. So let me ask you guys, have you guys ever gone deal shopping or known that you want to buy something?
Yes.
No.
Alright, so what do you do when you know you want to buy something and maybe it's a little bit more
I
expensive?
don't care what it's expensive. I still buy it because it's worth it.
Now, are you buying it with your money or?
My mom's money.
Okay, so
So I
here's,
earn money, I buy it.
I'm sure, but here's the thing. When you buy things that are expensive or that are going to mean something to you, you might want to shop around, right?
Yep.
Has anybody in here ever compared prices for something?
Me, well, not me, my mom.
Sometimes.
Okay.
We go see this, when we see like for food,
Mhm.
we go to this store and then we go to a different store and see how it is. So
Perfect.
we see the differences.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing.
I
I'll
know.
have some stores where I know some things are cheaper, and other places where I know, they're a little bit more expensive. What about you, Johnny?
Like, if I want something, if I see what's like if I want two different things, see which one's like more expensive and which one's not.
No, absolutely. I know nobody here. Well, does anybody in here have a car yet?
No,
A car?
I-
What?
You have a car. I don't have a car.
Miss James, have you ever gone
Mr. Hall, I see.
shopping and tried to compare prices of different things to make sure you're not getting ripped off?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, right?
I don't.
That's a waste of time.
It's a waste of money if you don't do it.
Yeah.
So that's why we're going
Stephanie.
through some of these things.
Miss James can give you work because you said that.
Alright.
You work.
Yes. Question, does anybody want to come up and showcase on the whiteboard up here what they did?
Me.
Yeah?
Yes.
Alright.
Kasi ito check.
Sure.
Common. No. Oh man.
What makes no sense?
And they got 4,500.
So what did we do? We did 45 times 70? Okay.
31.2.
Perfect. So yeah, that's gonna be our
Oh wait, yeah, I
it's
think
gonna be our what? Our discount, right? So then
120.
alright.
Right there.
But this is how we gotta make sure we set up, right? And then we gotta cross multiply to make sure we get. So we got like 12 minutes. So the last thing I wanna do is I have an exit ticket for you guys. This is going to be quick and it's just gonna let me know how you guys are feeling about some of the stuff we're doing. Here, can you hold on to that until after? We just have this one last thing and then we'll have a little bit of fun.
A fundraiser that we're gonna do is it like we have to build something or what is it?
I'm still figuring it out. And
I want
it's
to build
gonna
something.
I'm finding that out, and I'm going to introduce it next week, and then we'll do it after our 2 weeks off.
Yes.
All right, so this exit ticket, I want to know, name one reason why understanding percentages might help you out in the real world.
Not gonna help you. Oh, yeah, it is.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and
I just
don't
need
feel
you to
like-
answer one thing,
I'm tired.
and then the next thing. I know, and that's why this isn't too
I need-
challenging.
Can I borrow your pen?
Of course you may. The next thing I want to know is just let me know how you're feeling about these percentages that we've been doing, alright? Do you feel confident using these percentages? You know how to do the calculations, but you need more practice? Or still a little bit confused and need a little bit more help? And then on the back of this, I just want you to make a comment about how these lessons on percentages are going, what's working, what's not. Is there anything I'm doing that's helpful? Is there anything that I should be doing that might help you a little bit better?